This video is designed to show you some of the key concepts we discussed in Lesson 3-11, Prime and Composite Numbers. The goal for today was to be able to identify numbers as either prime or composite, also list the prime factors and the prime factorizations for different numbers. Now, a key tip, we'll only list in prime factorizations. You need to include multiplication signs whenever you're listing prime factors. You just list the numbers. Now we're going to take a look at some examples as far as finding prime factors of a certain number. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the number 20. And we're going to make what's called a factor tree, and we're going to keep breaking 20 down until all the numbers are factors. So we're going to find the prime factors of 20. So I think about the number 20, and I know that 20 can be broken down to a multiplication problem of 2 times 10. Okay, now I can look at my number 2, and I know there's not any other number that's equal to 2 other than 2 times 1, so that means 2 is actually a prime number. So I'm just going to drop the number 2 down. And then I'm also going to drop down the multiplication sign. So now I have the number 10, and I know that 10 can be broken down even further to 2 times 5. And now I look at my number 2 over here. I know that's prime. My number 2 there is prime as well. Now I take a look at my number 5, and I think to myself, are there any other multiplication problems that equal the number 5? And there is not. Okay, so if I'm listing the prime factors of the number 20, not the prime factorization of 20, just the prime factors, I would say that the prime factors of 20 are 2, 2, and 5. So now I'm going to take a look at finding the prime factorizations of a number, which is different in that when we're listing the prime factorizations, we put multiplication signs in between the numbers, and prime factors, we just list the numbers. So I'm taking a look at the number 48, and I think to myself, what multiplication problem out there equals 48? Now there's a number of them, 12 times 4, 2 times 24, but we're going to go with 6 times 8. So we'll just simply write 6 times 8 in our factor tree. And then we're going to break down the number 6 and the number 8. So we look at the number 6. We think, what multiplication problem other than 6 times 1 equals 6? And we have 2 times 3. Then we're going to drop down our multiplication sign. Then we're going to look at the number 8. We think to ourselves, what multiplication problem other than 8 times 1 equals 8? And I know that 4 times 2 equals 8. So you can see that we have the number 2, the number 3, and the number 2, and those are all what are considered prime numbers. But we have the number 4 that still can be broken down even further. So we're going to break the number 4 down to 2 times 2. Then we're going to drop down our multiplication sign. Then we're going to just drop down all of our prime numbers. Drop down this multiplication sign. Drop down the number 3. Drop down another multiplication sign. And drop down the number 2. Okay, so now I have 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, and that is the list of all of the prime factors for the number 48. So if I were to list the prime factorizations for the number 48, I would just write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And those are all the prime, those would be considered the prime factorizations for the number 48. And those are the two key concepts we went over in Lesson 3-11.